Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 7 Premium Tank Destroyer, the Super Hellcat. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Super Hellcat. It's a fantastic little Tier 7 Tank Destroyer. Why? Because it's got a pretty damn nice gun. It's got pretty good DPM for a Tier 7 Tank Destroyer. It's also got absolutely unbelievable camo. The camo is disgustingly good. And then it's got 72 km/h top speed, which is also absolutely fantastic. Helps you get to really aggressive spots and use the camo to your advantage. The tank also gets pretty decent view range as well for a Tier 7 Tank Destroyer as well, which helps you spot out and then use the filthy camo to just outspot everything, and you can get tons of assistance and all sorts. And it's just a really good all-round Tank Destroyer for that. The only thing it lacks is the fact that it's armor, because naturally it is pure paper, being the fact that it's a Hellcat. I would say that this is in competing. It is competing. English is hard, people. We're making up words as we go along. It's competing with the Hellcat 105 for the top spot as the best Hellcat. The Hellcat 105, though, at Tier 6 is an absolutely fantastic tank, but this thing is so good. Because the gun handling's good, because the camo is fantastic, because the DPM's good, because the mobility's so good, it's just a really nice all-round tank to play. So this tank has a 72 km/h top speed, which is absolutely rapid, and the one thing that is really good about this tank compared to something like the standard Hellcat or the Hellcat 105 is that you get a 20 km/h reverse speed, which is very nice for this tank. You've got 34 degrees a second hull rotation, which is pretty decent for this kind of tank destroyer as well, with good ground resistances, which means they do not hold you back to get up to your top speed whatsoever. You've got a still concealment with the build that I've got of 206 meters of still concealment, which is absolutely filthy. And then with on the move concealment at 228 with silent driving, it is so nice in this Super Hellcat. It's so good. And if you can abuse it, you can have a great time. The tank also has 380 meters base view range, which with the build that I've got, you can get it up to 486 meters of view range, which is pretty great, if we're honest, for a Tier 7 Tank Destroyer. A lot of the time, tank destroyers are really blind, so 380 is at Tier 8 medium levels. So again, absolutely take that. The penetration on the standard AP is 167 with 243 APCR pen. Now, the standard pen at 167 for a Tier 7 Tank Destroyer is a little bit low. And the 167 does struggle against a lot of the Tier 9s. So you will find yourself having to fire quite a bit of premium rounds when you are bottom tier and in Tier 8 games. But on the whole, it's still pretty usable. And you can absolutely farm up, as you're seeing in this first replay with this tank. It's honestly, I can't tell you how much I enjoy this tank. It is so good. And it's like taking the Tier 6 Tech Tree Hellcat, putting it on steroids and shifting it to Tier 7. And it's honestly, it is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the only thing that the Hellcat 105 does that I really like that makes it compete with this tank for that top Hellcat spot is the gun. Like the gun on the Hellcat 105, the 105mm gun on it is beautiful. Those heat rounds are disgusting. You've got great HE rounds as well. And that is also tier for tier. It's a very strong tank at Tier 6. So what do I run in terms of a crew on the Super Hellcat? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun. The 3 gun perks to make this gun as good as humanly possible, because the base accuracy of the gun is 0.35, which is not derpy, but it's getting onto the derpier end. So I really want to help it out as much as I humanly can do, especially since it's a tank destroyer and does not get the gun stabilizer. Silent Driving to make the camo on the move as dirty as it is, and Camouflage Expertise to make the camo 10% better, as always in a stealthy tank like this, and it makes that camo down to that 206 meters of still concealment, which is filth. Situational Awareness as well, with the Rapid Reload, the Sixth Sense, and the Born Leader, you're going to take on every single World War II tank, because they are exceptionally important skills to take on everything. And then in terms of equipment, I run the Advanced Loader, the Optics, and the Camo Net. Camo Net to get me down to that filthy 206 meters of still concealment. The Optics to be able to get my view range up to 486 meters of view range so that I can outspot everything by a country mile and then be able to farm them before they ever get the chance of seeing me. And Advanced Loader to get that fantastic DPM. So this first game is on airfield, and at the minute it is 5-4. We're up to 3.7k damage with 4 kills, and there's a medium tank moving in the middle, and it's just at this point waiting for this T-3485 to give us a shot. He does, so we put the shot into him. I'm being careful because I know that Hellcat 105 could get a shot at me from over there, which he would be able to kill me with a one-shot if he is lucky with his high rolls, or if he's firing HE, which he would then one-shot me too. We try and get a shot there into the T-3485 again, but sadly it just misses. And the one thing that I did forget to mention on this tank is the shell velocity, and it's one of the things, again, that it's one of the things that does hold the Super Hellcat back a little bit, but I mean, balancing factors, right? Is that the standard AP round has 853 meters a second shell velocity, which is definitely very slow for the standard AP round, and the 1021 meters a second shell velocity for the APCR is pretty quick. Well, it's not pretty quick, it's pretty okay, but it's not that good even for APCR. So the shell velocity does feel like you start to loop shells a little bit in the Hellcat, but that's the same for this Hellcat, and, well, to be honest, all the other Hellcats have the similar sort of shell velocity as well. But yeah, the T-3485 gets shut down, meaning there's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. They're 2 tank destroyers. We know where one of them was. It was the Hellcat 105 that was back at D2, so we're going to go make sure that we can get rid of that guy. We've got the mobility to get about. I mean, just look how fast this tank flies. The Challenger gets shut down by the V43 BIS. We're hoping to get the drop on this Hellcat 105, who we can put down to a one-shot. And, of course, the gun Derps, because why not? Thank you so much, gun. That was beautiful of you. Put a shot into him, and he gets shut down by the P43 BIS. We finished the game with a pretty decent total there for the Super Hellcat. We finished with the 4 kills, 4.2k damage, 354 assistance, the high caliber, the first class, which is for 2027 base XP, which probably shows you just how difficult it is to ace tanker this Super Hellcat, because it is played so well, because it is such a really, really, really good tank. And especially with having such filthy camo, and such good view range, and such good DPM at tier 7, if you end up in these top tier matchups where you're against tier 6s and tier 5s, they don't really have a hope in hell against you, because you'll rapidly destroy them, they won't have a chance at spotting you, and yeah, you just farm away, pretty much. So, we're on to the second replay. The second replay is on Ghost Town, and we've come to this middle area at F5, so we can shoot across this middle area. Things do like to pop up on the little ridge, and you can shoot at them. The one thing that is also great about this tank, by the way, is the aim time. We've got the aim time on it down to 1.57, with like stuff like Born Leader and that. And the 1.57 aim time is fantastic. I mean, your accuracy during rotation is 0.72, which is really good. Once you get in below 0.8 accuracy during rotation, that's where the accuracy is getting fantastic with the dispersion when you're turning the turret and the tracks and stuff like that. And accuracy during movement at 3.59 is pretty poor, but that's fairly standard, actually, for a for a tank destroyer, really. But the 1.57 aim time means you don't feel the gun bloom whatsoever, and you can just farm away. That KV1. Oh, we farmed most of his hit points. In his panic, he just fell off the cliff. And, yeah, he fell off the ledge and died. But we're now farming this T1 Heavy, who is using the secondary weapon system to keep putting the pressure up on us. We put a shot through, and I'm like, VK, help me! Help me, VK! There's a T1 Heavy behind us. And the WZ131 GFT shuts it down, so thankfully we don't take any more hits. There's a heavy tank around the corner, though, that's pushing. They've pushed quite aggressively. It's a Tiger 1 that looked fairly stock. He looked like he had the stock turret. I'm not sure which gun he had. We put it around the corner. It's like, oh my god, that's a Sturmpanzer! Oh, we are a very lucky boy. That could have been death in an instant. My goodness me, we should have looked what that tank destroyer was. Well, we take the rough with the smooth. We take our lucky RNG at times, and we live to fight another day. There's a Black Prince that's firing HE who gets a shot at us. Thankfully, he didn't pen us. And normally you'd be like, ha, it's a Black Prince firing HE. We're going to be fine. Yeah, we're in a Hellcat. It's probably still going to pen us if it wants to with HE, so we've got to be careful of that. But we put a shell through his side, and the T25/2 shuts down the Black Prince. Now we're going to go after this Sturmpanzer. Now, I'm not quite sure why I'm going this way. There we go, we've realised. And we're going to go this way to drive up behind this Sturmpanzer. We get the RBRT into his back, trying to hope he was distracted with our teammates, and hopefully we get to shut him down, which we do, and we finish him off. Sadly, couldn't save the WZ-131 GFT that drove in front of him, but we do get rid of that big gun that he's got. There's now a tank destroyer pushing around the bottom, which is a T-28 HTC, and I do not want to get in front of that guy's gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the mobility of the Hellcat to play that flanking tank destroyer, flanking medium tank that you could play in this sort of matchup with the Hellcat. And we're going to start pummeling the shots into the back end of the T-28 HTC. Because he is tracked in place, and he has been perma-tracked as well, although he's repaired it, which means that we can just keep farming this guy's hit points, and oh, we didn't quite get the kill there. But we're going to drive around the corner, find the M44. It's like, hello, Mr. M44. We get a shot into the M44, and it's like, nope, do not want that. We're going to wait for the reload, and we're going to chance it, and we shut down that guy. The Hummel nearly gets us there, which would have been a sad time, but we're loading the HE for the Hummel. We know he's fired, and we get that in for 323, and our Hummel shuts down their Hummel. Hummelception. There's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. It's that heavy tank over there that's been attacked by the medium, and I'm expecting this KV-85 to just blow up before I get there. But we're going to try and use the brilliant 72 km/h top speed that this tank gets to get somewhere over there, but sadly he goes before we get a chance. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is a Hellcat 105. It is our tier 6 brethren, and you know what, let's be cheeky. We're going to load HE for it so that we can use the 45 pen on this HE round and pen it for 320, which we get the exact roll. That's satisfying when that happens. We get the exact 320 roll. We get a nice shot snapped RBRT in the move into the 105, waiting for the reload, and we finish that tier 6 American tank destroyer off, and we just finished the game there with a really nice total finish with the epic victory. 4 kills, 5,071 damage, with the first class Confederate, the high caliber. Again, I'm telling you, it's quite hard to ace this tank. 2.1k base XP. That is a really high base XP to not be an ace. And that's the Super Hellcat. It's a fantastic tank, honestly. It's a really good tank to play. Fantastic mobility, fantastic camo, really nice DPM. You can't go wrong with this Super HellKitty. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
You're good.